Friendly greetings, it's Torley, sipping my drink out here in the countryside, y'all. It's not a clear blue sky, there's clouds as you can see, and that's what I'm going to show you in this tutorial, how to gain control of the day cycle editor, so you can change it up to your whim, whether you're doing photo shoots, machinima, or you just want to feel really good, y'all. I'm going to get hooked on that. The first thing you're going to want to make sure is Edit menu, Preferences, and right here under the Graphics tab, make sure it's either high or higher. Because the key thing, if you have custom checked, by the way, that's what I've got on, is that atmospheric shaders be checked on. Otherwise, the sky, I will show you, isn't going to look as pretty. You're going to lose detail. You need a graphics card, which is good enough to support this. So check out our system requirements and recommendations to be better. Now, it gets really easy from here. And by that I mean I'll just walk to the edge, I'll just float to the edge rather, and let me get a good, nice view so we can appreciate what's going on. And by the way, if you find it's kind of hard to get a view, go to View menu and you can zoom out or Control 8. So if I tap this 3 times, it sort of gives us a distorted, in a pleasant way, field of view, so we can get a better appreciation of the skyline. It's a broader angle. Now, go to the World menu and Environment Settings and Environment Editor. Here's where the magic happens when we dig a little deeper. Let's click Advanced Sky because we're going to tweak it. And let's dig even deeper. You ever wonder what this button does? Day Cycle Editor. So this is going to give us access to WINDLIGHT. That's the code name for these sky setting presets. Each one has a key, as you can see here. And by the way, I can just close those out because this is not dependent on it. I want to keep this open, however. And I can scrub, if you ever used audio recording software, very similar. You can just click and drag to scrub through the day like that. And I'm just gonna click now. I'm gonna press the Control key, or the Alt key rather, and click so I can zoom like that and get a view. Hello, Mr. Sun. And now I can scrub back and forth. So at midnight or 12 a.m. and you can scrub to noon, which is a midday, and then to a sunset, which is what happens on the other side. It's kind of hard to see from here, but yes, if I zoom out even farther or further, this is what we have. It's really hands-on. And the second thing you'll notice now is if I set a length of cycle. Now, what does that mean? This is great for time-lapse animations, sort of like Philip Glass, Koyaanisqatsi stuff. Let me just change it to 0 for minutes and 10 for seconds. That's hours, minutes, and seconds. So we have a really short day cycle. And now when we press play, it will automatically traverse from here left to right and repeat in a loop. And again, if you're familiar with music software, notice it's going to take about 10 seconds, exactly 10 seconds to make that journey. So right there like that. Now, the power of this comes in when you are going to customize, and by the way, use a state time, is the exact same as World menu, Environment Settings, and revert to region default. See, same thing. So these are all local. You're not going to affect anyone else's view. This is just what you see. But let's begin by deleting some of these keys so we can make our own day. Or actually, you can click any of these keyframes and wiggle it. So you change the time, so you can either move it intuitively like that, hands-on with the mouse, direct feedback, or you can adjust it in terms of entering numbers. If one is selected, you say 14 like that, 14th hour of the 24-hour day cycle. You can just delete keys like that, and notice each one gets selected and deleted. And that's how that works. And you can add, and it'll add it where this yellow pointer is. So now, and I like saying the word so a lot apparently too, I'm becoming very self-aware there. Let's go to about, well, we're already here. And you'll notice that when you click this, you'll have certain presets like this. I've got a mega pack you can install. This is a tentative version of my next release, by the way. So if we want to select, let's go for a midnight sort of one. a night one like Anwar, which is based on a rather very nice oil rig that I've seen out there, one of the Linden regions. And add key, it'll add it with that preset. So here we have at midnight, effectively, or the 0 hour, it has this Anwar. Now let's go to about noon. All right, so we're here at about noon. And now we want to add a midday one. And I'll show you how it works basically with 2. So I'm really happy with this Nostalgica one that I've done recently. I'll set it to that. And whoops, actually, I did something wrong there. Let me go back and select Anwar. What I should have done, because you see this is still selected, it means it still changed that. You want to make sure this is at the point where you want to insert a new one. And then you can add key. So now this one's selected, and you can change a different key. And let's go ahead and choose Nostalgica. And now we have 2, so we can scrub. So you notice it transitions. Not the most realistic. You'll want other intermediary keyframes. The keyframe, of course, is just each one is a preset, and it interpolates between them, meaning it blends between those settings. So here we have a nice blend. It's a great way to come up with your own inspired presets to use in your own creation. So let's go about here and add key, and we'll want to, and notice how neatly I categorize this to a sunrise. So a hot sunrise, and one more time to about 6 p.m., which is like sunset, add, and now we're going to choose a sunset. Let's see, which one do I really like? Cap Champ. Okay. Keep in mind, this is not totally physically accurate. There's things which can be tweaked within the settings. But for an alien planet, now remember what we did with our time there, 10 seconds, and we can play to preview. And the sky just animates like that. The moon just went, wachoo! And voila! That's how you customize the day cycle editor. You can keep adding little presets. Now, when you're done, you can save your test day, and it will overwrite the default one. If you ever want the default one back, you're going to have a copy of it or reinstall Second Life. And conversely, as you would expect, if you tweak the day setting around and mess with it and whatever, after you saved it and you want to restore, you can load your test day. It will reset just as shown to what you had saved it as. That makes total sense, doesn't it? Now, one unfortunately thing, it's a big thing too, because names would lead you to think otherwise. You can save a lot of different sky presets, it's true, and water presets. That's outside the scope of this tutorial. But you can only save one test day. We don't have a palette currently to select from a whole bunch of different days. However, if you go to this directory, at least in my Windows box, it's something like this, and it will always be named default.xml. So what I'm showing you here is I made a zip copy of it in case I ever wanted to back it up. And it's kind of clunky because this means that whatever day you've customized, you must rename it to default.xml, start Second Life. And if it doesn't automatically load, which it should, then you'll have to load the test day and it will recognize that. So it'll be in a directory similar like this. And like I said, even though it says days, it's really just one day at a time for now. Finally, there's a popular question I get asked a fair amount. It's a beautiful, lovely question, and it is, so I don't have to keep you in suspense. Torley, I want to have my WINDLIGHT setting persist across logins. I want it to always be the same. How do I do that? The answer is, it's a bit clunky, but you can work around and use the day cycle editor. And this is basically done by making a day with no keyframes, well, one keyframe, that is. So delete those, and you just have one. You set that to whatever you want it to be, so like alien planet, and then you save the test day. Now, when you relog at Second Life, it will always show this setting for all the times of the day. Keep in mind, this will also affect related functionality in world menu, environment settings. If I select these, there is nothing there. It tries to select parts. You notice they're always snapped to certain times, but because there are no other keyframes, there will be no changes, so you'll always see this. And I personally use a method similar to this. I use a custom day cycle like I was showing you, because it adds a lot of spice and vigor to my Second Life, and because I don't have to keep changing back to my settings each time. It gives you a very unique look if you're taking a lot of pictures. And especially after you crash or something like that, you don't have to keep resetting the same thing. Keep that in mind, and please go ahead and play with the day cycle editor. If you make any cool pictures or movies, things like that, just let me know. I'd love to see your beautiful, inspiring creations. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and have a gorgeous Second Life.